Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Don Dome. I'm Randy Schiffman, along with Charlie Washington, bringing you our first Great Lakes Valley Conference game of the year. And Charlie, the Dons come in, they're scoring over 90 points a game, taking on the University of Indianapolis, a team that scores under 70. I guess it's going to be push and shove out there tonight, isn't it?
Well, hopefully so. Hopefully the Dons can improve upon an already 7-0 perfect record tonight, playing against a not-so-strong team, a team picked to finish in the bottom two in the conference, and of course the Dons are picked to finish second behind Kentucky Wesleyan.
But it does get a lot different because now they're conference games, and it is a lot different when you're playing in the conference. Each game really counts as two.
Exactly, and of course you're talking about the Great Lakes Valley, one of the tougher conferences in Division II basketball. So any night, any team can beat another team, and in this case, in Indianapolis, you can't take them for granted tonight.
Now, IPFW coach Andy Piazza told me that Indy's 3-4 record's a little deceiving because all 7 of their games have been on the road. So he says they're really playing a lot better than a 3-4 team. Can we believe it?
Yeah, and well, they have some big players. They have some bruisers in there. A kid that played with Lloyd Ball here at Woodland, Jim Mosher, and DeHaven, a kid from Maryville, Indiana, and also their leading scorer and rebounder this year, big kid, Scott. I forget his last name right now, but look for big things out of him tonight.
Okay, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to bring you the play-by-play.
How can you find out when lightning may strike? And how do you count the fish in the sea? How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
Where do you turn to find help for an elderly person you love? Call the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116.
There is a need in your own hometown. Please join your local chapter.
For over 2 millennia, Western society has generated a rich visual tradition of painting, sculpture, and architecture. What do these images mean? How can we understand them? Art of the Western world will take you on an exciting journey that will suggest answers to these and other questions. Beginning in ancient Greece and ending on the brink of the future, it will examine many of mankind's most enduring artistic achievements.
Carol,
Tom.
some people still don't realize how space technology...
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Don Dome. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington getting ready to bring you IPFW basketball as the Dons get ready to take on the University of Indianapolis. And Charlie, we were just talking about it. The Dons coming in with a perfect 7-0 record, while the Indianapolis Greyhounds 3-4, but all 7 games on the road, so that is a little deceiving.
And Randy, first of all, my apologies to Doug Staley. I couldn't remember his name at the outset.
You have to be nice to him. One of our producers at work, Kathy Canavel, went to high school with Doug Staley, and she said to make sure we say hi to him.
Okay. Doug Staley, of course, their leading scorer and rebounder this year as we get set for the introductions of the Dons.
There we see Andre Walton, one of the starting guards. The Dons will be without Lan Bullard tonight. He has a dislocated kneecap, and Coach Andy Piazza says he'll be out at least a couple of weeks, and that hurts the depth a lot. Andy Liebert also starting tonight for the Dons.
Himself coming off an injury.
That's right. Shane Gibson getting one of the starts up front along with his brother Sean. Sean is really off to a great start his senior season. He's looking like a first-team All-American so far.
Yes, he is.
And in the middle will be Doug Reinke from right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Played his high school ball at Concordia. Dons have a lot of size up front. First conference game of the year, Charlie. You think they're a little more nervous than usual?
Probably not. This is a deep, not only deep team, but a junior and senior laden team. So they should be ready and have been in situations like this. So I look for a big game out of them and not too much anticipation and nervousness.
Okay, now it's time to listen to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'll tell you, Charlie, one thing that's going to be a factor here tonight, it's sort of like the Boston Garden in summer. It's got to be at least 80 degrees in this place because it's such a warm day in Fort Wayne, about 50, 55 outside, and the heat's been on it. It is hot in here. That could take a toll, don't you think?
Exactly, yes. And athletes love the heat. They love to get warmed up, and this should work to the athletes' advantages on both sides, and hopefully bigger advantage going to the Dons tonight, Randy.
Sort of like a prize fight when you want to go into the ring with the sweat. Whenever you see a guy boxing going in and he's not sweating, he's not ready to fight.
Well, I must be ready to fight because I got a sweat going.
No, it's perspiring. For us, it's perspiring. We don't sweat. Let's hit the starting lineup for the Greyhounds of Indianapolis. We have number 20, Chad Mills. Also number 5, Perel Lucas. You might remember number 40, Jim Mosier. He is from Woodland High School. He played with Lloyd Ball. He had a pretty good team in high school there.
Bookend forwards.
Number 55, Tom Lammert. And who's the last guy out there? Number 34 would be Doug Staley, who you were just talking about, friend of Kathy Canavel. We're all set. Reinke jumping up with Mosier, and it's Indianapolis controlling the tip. Lucas with the ball. Now, Coach Piazza told me to expect the Greyhounds to pass the ball around 4, 5, 6 times, reminiscent of the Indiana Hoosiers on offense, if they're really going to take their time and just run a half-court offense. Staley puts up the first shot, no good, but it was tapped out of bounds by Sean Gibson. So the Greyhounds will get it back with a new shot clock.
You mentioned the Hoosiers, Randy. Coach Royce Waltman, assistant coach on that 1987 championship team.
Maybe that's where he got some of these ideas from.
I'll bet you.
Again, the Greyhounds average under 70 points a game, while IPFW over 90 a game, so you know they definitely have contrasting styles. Shot put up by Lucas, no good, and Shane Gibson pulls down the rebound. Quickly up to Walton. You can see the difference right now. The Downs quickly into the front court. Doug Reinke out top. Gets it to Walton. I don't know why Andre needs that T-shirt under the regular shirt tonight, as warm as it is in here. Sean outside, oh, wide open. Andre Walton underneath, up and under, gets it to fall. And the foul's on Doug Staley. Staley doesn't think he touched him. Great pass, though, by Sean Gibson.
And that's a great example, Randy, of the great upper body strength on the small but very stocky Andre Walton.
Maybe short. I don't know how small he is. That was a nice play. Walton's got a chance to complete the three-point play, and he makes it, and a minute into the ball game, Downs up 3-zip. Putting down the full court pressure. Sort of token pressure right now, maybe looking for the trap around the half-court stripe. The Greyhounds get it across. With a couple of seconds to spare, Walton almost gets the steal. Not quite. Three-pointer is perfect by Chad Mills. And it's quickly 3-3. Shane Gibson up court into Reinke, wide open. Oh, they call that a block. I thought they were going to get goaltend on Mosier.
Again, Doug Reinke kind of nonchalant that ball up there. Got to be a little stronger with that play.
Is that the one, Charlie, where maybe he needs to take a dribble, go in and slam it because nobody's going to block it?
Exactly, or at least go strong. Stronger to the glass than he just exhibited.
Turnover by the Greyhounds. Downs will get it back tied at 3-3. When you look at the Indianapolis roster, a few kids from around here, from Wabash, Noy Che, played at Northfield with the big Ross twins.
Yeah.
Who are both playing, of course, for Notre Dame now. We also talked about Jim Mosier from Woodland, who played with Roy Ball. All-American volleyball player. Then when Loy, of course, at the games, and he's always at the games, when he sees Mosier out there, he probably wants to get out and play right now.
And after his fourth year playing volleyball, we probably will see Loy out there.
That is a possibility if he's not on the U.S. team by then.
Exactly.
Training for the Olympics. Liebert with the drive got fouled. Number 55, Todd Lambert.
That was more of a bailout, Randy. Liebert had nothing to do.
And they're calling it a shooting foul. So much the better. A late Christmas gift for Mr. Liebert. Who is Mr. now? He is married these days.
Exactly.
To a young lady who plays on the lady teams.
Shot, man.
I could say a couple of bad jokes, but I won't. I'll spare the crowd tonight. Andy Liebert misses the first free throw. Second one gets it to roll in. Downs up 4-3. We're just about 2 minutes into the ball game. Full court press. Oh, I thought they were going to get a 5-second call there. Didn't miss it by much. Greyhounds again just getting it across the timeline. Shane Gibson almost with the steal. Blocked by Reinke. On Lambert, that's the defense. Oh, Walton's got Reinke wide open. And that time, he takes it strong to the hole, Charlie. He was listening. 6-3, Downs up by 3 early.
That's a great play by Doug, and a great for Walton to reward him for getting that block, and he got out in the lane, and that's what you have to do with your big men. Reward them when they fill those lanes.
Yeah, what was nice about the block by Reinke is he made it, and he tapped it very lightly and kept it in play. Lucas with a wild shot. And they're going to call Reinke on a foul. I don't know why he's fouling him 20 feet from the basket, but he did. On a three-point shot, that could be 3 free throws. They may call it after the foul.
That's something that's plagued Doug Reinke all his career here at IPFW. He'll make a great play, and then a few moments later may get caught up in the action or into the excitement of the game and make a not-so-smart play.
Lucas at the line shooting. I think they're going to say it's only 2. Must have had a foot on the line. I was kidding Coach Piazza when Doug was hurt earlier in the season. I said, doesn't matter. He'll come out, he won't play, and they'll still call him for 2 fouls. He always picks up a couple early.
Also in his career, he does get, when you foul, make some of the not-so-intelligent fouls as Doug sometimes does. Sometimes you don't get the calls.
That's right. Lucas hits 1 out of 2. The Dons lead it by 2, 6-4. Shane Gibson almost had it stolen. What we were saying before, though, Reinke made a nice play. He blocked it, and he kept it in play to one of his own teammates, and he knew he wouldn't be around for a rebound, and he quickly headed down court. You gotta like to see that. That's heads-up basketball.
reminiscent Bill Walton.
Yeah, Walton was the best at that, keeping it in play after he blocked it. Shane Gibson out to Sean. Back inside to Shane, who's being held. No, they're going to call Shane for pushing up. I thought Doug Staley was holding him. Got our first substitution for Indianapolis. Number 42, Mike DeHaven. Comes in for number 55, Todd Lambert, who picked up a couple of quick fouls.
Again, Indianapolis had a little trouble getting that basketball in bounds.
Broke the press a little more easily that time. Working it around the outside. As we told you, they're going to usually pass it around 4, 5, 6 times before they even look for a shot. And there's a blocking foul on Mike DeHaven, who checked Sean Gibson into the boards. But since he didn't pick up the loose puck, I guess they're going to get him for the foul. That played more reminiscent of a Comets game.
Yeah, and Sean being the savvy player he is.
Hey, speaking of the Comets,
Pretty
I'd
good
like to
acting.
pass out our congratulations to Scotty Gruel, Comets forward, who scored his 552nd IHL goal last night. All-time leading goal scorer in IHL history. I hope he sticks around for a couple more years and makes it 600. Scotty, a nice man and a great ball. Great. Andre Walton loses the handle on it. We've had a very sloppy game here, Charlie, inside and outside. About 4 minutes into the game. You think it's the Christmas layoff? I know Indianapolis hasn't played since the 5th of December, and the Downs have been off for almost 2 weeks as well.
This is a very tricky time. There are two sides of the story. Right now, there are no classes, so the players, they could react positively with just going to practice and playing the games, or it could be a negative effect with the laying around and not being sharp and the discipline.
You do lose a little of the edge, though. I mean, practice is one thing, but when you're not in games, and especially when you have a long layoff, and then you've got to play a conference game, it's got to be a little tough. Shane Gibson missed inside. 6-4. We've played 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Outside, Staley's not going to shoot the three this time. Lucas might have gotten away with a walk. No, he didn't. They got him.
Again, Randy, you can't underestimate the effect that the everyday process of going to class and an everyday routine has on a team. And this time of the year, you're not going through the everyday routine, so things change. And this may have a larger effect, like you said, on the Indianapolis Greyhounds because they haven't played in 25 days.
That's a long time. Number 23, Scott Simmons in the lineup for IPFW. So is one of the bangers, 54, Pat Murphy. Shane Gibson with the three-pointer. And they gave it to the wrong team. It should be 9-4 Dons. They gave the 3 points to Indianapolis. I hope they change that on the board. Greyhounds breaking the press. Inside, beautiful use of the left hand by number 20, Chad Mills.
And as we speak.
And now Dick Demanian, the assistant coach for IPFW, catches it. Shane with another three, hits it again. And by our count, that is now 12-6, I believe. It should be IPFW. The scoreboard is getting caught up now. It's got 12-9. It should be 12-6. They gave the Dons the extra three, but they didn't take the three away yet. Lucas with the 8-footer hits it. That makes it 12-8, IPFW by 4. Pace starting to pick up a little, and the scoreboard is finally corrected. Everything working in unison now. All is right in the world. Pat Murphy misses, and they're going to call Andre Walton inside with the foul. Oh, and he gives the referee a little tap for saying, good call. And the referee said, don't touch me again. Or that'll be a tease, huh?
Some referees appreciate that, and apparently this one does not.
Obviously. Whatever he says. Just don't do that. Andre Walton with the steal. Inside to Pat Murphy. Drives in. Throws up a brick. Andre Walton among the big guys gets fouled.
Again, Walton with that upper body strength can hold it up there, pump, hit you with that body, and still have enough strength to get the ball up off the glass.
He really hung in the air that time, and I think he has drawn another foul on Doug Staley. His second, he has, and that's a good guy to get out of there. Because Staley, who's a big guy, he goes 6'8", he goes out number 23. Shannon Arthur comes in, and he's only 6'3". So basically, the Greyhounds going with a three-guard offense right now. Andre Walton hits one. Don's up 5, 13-8.
They do have a Division I transfer.
Right, just came here.
Bruins, Indiana, former Indiana All-Star.
Andre Walton hits them both. Dons back up by 6. 14-8. Once again, Charlie, Greyhounds having trouble just getting the ball in bounds. Break the press. Bills doesn't take the shot that time. Mosier wants it outside. Over to Lucas. And thrown away on the inside. Shannon Arthur, number 23, thought he was being held, but he wasn't.
What's happening on that pressure by the Dons, Randy? The Dons are setting up very well and giving the Greyhounds a lot of trouble with the ball in bounds, but they don't have the overall team quickness to sustain the pressure.
And once they set up in the half-court offense, the Dons are really pushing them outside and making them do everything from about 20 feet out. Shane Gibson driving in. They're going to call a blocking foul on number 5, Burrell Lucas. The Dons have also picked up the pace a little. It's not very high scoring. We've played over 6 minutes. It's only 14-8, but it started out really slowly the first couple of minutes. And the Dons want a little faster paced game.
Oh, sure. That's what a team like the Mastodons, that's what they want. They're a much deeper team, a more experienced team than the Greyhounds, so they're going to extend the pressure. 94 feet.
Well, unusual, too, to play over 6 minutes in the game, and Sean Gibson hasn't taken a shot yet. I don't even know if he has a rebound yet.
I don't think so. But he'll be there.
Yeah. Ooh, bad pass inbound, stolen away by Lucas, and he's going to go in for the layup. No block. But on the rebound, Shannon Arthur puts it in and draws the foul. Boy, Scott Simmons made a beautiful block on Lucas there, who did one of those, well, I don't want to just make the bucket, I want to get the three-point play. You can't worry about getting fouled, Charlie. You got to go and make the bucket. If the guy fouls you, he fouls you.
And something very, very positive on the referee part there. Many times the referee will anticipate a foul there, and that was a good no call by the referee.
Andre Walton getting a break, and Russ Marcinek comes in. I'm surprised we haven't seen Jeff Smithy. As I say that, he takes off his warm-up and he gets ready to come in as well. Dons lead at 14-10, 13:41 to go in the first half.
Dons going much smaller.
Yeah, Shannon Arthur, well, they got a match up right now. Shannon Arthur at the line trying to complete the three-point play. One of the reasons I think the Dons are substituting too is, as we talked about at the top of the show, it is hot in here. It's got to be at minimum of 80 degrees. Free throw no good, and Murph pulls down the rebound. You see Jeff Smithy at the shooting guard right now. And he can hit the three-pointers, we know that.
Yes, he can. And Marcinek, the Hammond Knoll product, playing the point.
Play number 23, Scott Simmons, can hit the three as well. Saw play against St. Francis in the 2-3. Marcinek drives inside, making a call for the charge. He just flat ran over number 55, Todd Lambert. Lambert back in the lineup.
That's an example of Marcinek trying to make something happen, Randy, but clearly did not have a clear path to the basket.
A little out of control. And with 2 seconds to spare, the Greyhounds break the press. Lucas just walks in. Nobody picked him up. And all of a sudden, it's a two-point ball game 7 minutes in. Dons lead at 14-12. Andy Liebert getting ready to check back in.
I think the Dons need to set something up, Randy, and then go down to the post to Gibson or to Pat Murphy.
They definitely need to get Sean Gibson involved in the offense right now. Timeout for the Dons. Andy Piazza not liking what he is seeing out there at the moment. A lot of standing around on offense, and on the last couple of series on defense, nobody picking anybody up. And we'd like to tell you about the College Cable Access program guide. It provides information about our programming, including new IPFW sports telecasts. And to receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW. It's 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499. Or you can just give us a call at 481-6582, and you can find out everything that we have for you on College Cable Access, Channel 6. And right now we've got IPFW basketball, the first conference game of the year in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, sort of the Big Ten. We've talked about this in years past. It's sort of the Big Ten of Division II college basketball because it's probably the best conference in the country.
Overall, the best conference, I would say. Many teams from this conference do advance on to postseason play. And right now the Dons are ranked second in the Great Lakes Valley region, and that's a good position to be in because 4 teams from that region do go on to postseason
Number
play.
11 overall, and I believe isn't Kentucky Wesleyan number 1 or number 2 right now?
Yes, somewhere up there. And of course that means they're ranked number 1 in the region.
Yeah. And Andy Piazza also told me before the game that Wesleyan lost their 7-foot center, but picked up a 6'8" transfer from Kentucky, from Western Kentucky this week. How fortuitous.
Yes, they do pick up a lot of Division I prospects.
To work out that way. Marcinek throws it away. Lucas with the steal. Gets the pass to Shannon Arthur. He gets the bucket and the foul. Lo and behold, we've got us a tie ball game. The Greyhounds are getting ready to take the lead here. Don's getting a little sloppy on offense. And I think that's why Andre Walton's getting ready to check back in. And Marcinek goes out.
Something that's happening with the Dons right now, your best player on the court is Sean Gibson. Sean Gibson, he's one of those players. He's not a creator. So without a good point guard, he's not going to be effective. You have to get Sean the ball. As in the past, your best players, you had an Eric Vaughn, a Lawrence Jordan, who could create their own shots. Sean Gibson cannot do that, so you have to get him the ball in a position where he can do something good with it.
Arthur completes the three-point play, and it's the Greyhounds by 1. There's Gibson inside, gets hammered. Looking to pass it off to Pat Murphy. Maybe should have thrown that one up, and he would have gotten 2 free throws. They're going to give it to him anyways, huh?
Yeah, they are going to
tell you, I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 years that college referees are starting to call games more like NBA games. Where they give players a little continuation on a shot, and if a player puts up a shot while he's getting fouled, they'll give him the free throws. And I think that's good for the game. They're letting the players decide the game a little more than the officials.
A good example was the play we just saw on the other end. That could have been called on the floor.
Gibson misses his first free throw. Sean was telling me he went to basketball camp with Steve Alford over the summer to learn how to shoot his free throws better, and it has helped.
Yeah, shooting 80%.
Yeah, and he was in the 60s last year, so it did help. Steve Alford had a lot of good things to say about Sean Gibson. He just misses 2 free throws. Seems to think that he can play some pro ball, maybe over in Europe.
Sean probably would have got a lot more notoriety out of high school, except for he played with a guy called Graham in high
Pat
school.
Graham. And also his brother Shane was better than he was. Sean readily admits he was the 3rd best player on his high school team. So you know that was a pretty darn good high school team. They made it to the Final Four.
And the thing about it, as you see Sean there, he still basically plays the same. Very consistent. In the past, you can put down 15 points, 8 or 9 rebounds for him. And he's pushed that point production up to about 22 or 23.
Yeah, he's averaging almost 23 a game. He's gotten 1 shot off in the first 8 minutes. You don't want to see that. And he's misses only 2 free throws. And that's a huge reason the Dons are trailing by 1, 15-14. They have not scored for 3 or 4 minutes. Greyhounds not playing like Greyhounds, playing more like Turtles.
But right now they are controlling the tempo of this basketball game.
Shannon Arthur dishes it off, but he got fouled by Pat Murphy. Arthur's done a great job since he has come in the lineup for Staley. We thought the Greyhounds were going to lose a lot by the big rebounder going out. It hasn't been that way at all. Shannon Arthur scoring a lot of points, creating a lot of offense. And the Dons already over the limit. That is 17 fouls, so Shannon Arthur will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. And I would think a team like the Greyhounds are going to like this going to the free throw line deal for the next 11 and a half minutes.
And 3 more fouls, it'll be 2 free throws.
That's right. First one is good. Makes it a 2-point lead, 16-14. Indianapolis out in front.
In a game like we have tonight, when you have tempo versus tempo, upbeat tempo for IPFW, a slower tempo for the Greyhounds, and whatever team can control the tempo, that's a team that's more than likely going to win the basketball game.
Right, and it started out Indy in control, then IPFW took over for about 3 or 4 minutes and built a 6-point lead. Now it's back in Indy. Great pass, Andre Walton to Pat Murphy, count the bucket, and the foul. And that is 17 fouls on the Greyhounds as well, so both teams will be spending a lot of time at the free throw line the rest of this half. Ooh, it's so exciting to watch free throws.
Great pass, as you stated, by Andre Walton. Walton's playing very well this year, controlling the tempo of the team. Coach Andy Piazza, as you can see by his presence on the court, this is Walton's team this year.
Sean Gibson and Andy Lieber taking seats. Doug Reinke And Jeff Smithy back in. Murphy at the line with a chance to complete the three-point play and tie the game at 17. We've got 11:18 to go in the first half. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington, very glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6 to bring you the first IPFW Conference basketball game of the year. Murph perfect on the free throw, and we're tied at 17. We played that first 8 minutes and 42 seconds for nothing. Here comes the trap. And they call a jump ball. It worked. 5-second countdowns. Get the ball on the alternating possession.
For you young point guards out there, in this case, we like what we just saw because that was a turnover for the Greyhounds, but that was just about the worst place to pick up the basketball with the trap.
That's right. Right over the timeline. You can't go backwards. You got the sideline on one side. You can't go that way. You can't go forward because you have a man in front of you. You can't go to the side because there's another man in front of you. That's where you call a timeout. Jeff Smithy threw up an error from three-point land. That was what we call nothing but nothing.
Leaves nothing.
Lucas driving inside, beats the Wild one to go off the glass. The Greyhounds up by 2. Lucas looks like he's the only Greyhound who wants to run.
He's a slasher, and he's slashing through the Mastodons defense and getting some positive outcomes for himself.
Defense is a little slack right now. This is a game that the Dons really think they should win, especially in their building. They're not playing like it, going through the motions. Gibson, is that his third three-pointer?
His third three.
9 points. Shane picking up for brother Sean this evening.
Would you call that a jump shot?
No. I'd call that more of a Larry Bird push-set shot.
It's effective.
Bob Cousy.
It's effective nonetheless.
That's right. When no one's guarding you, you shoot it however you feel comfortable. Nice tip by Mosier. The Woodland high grab, but it doesn't go. Andre Walton with the ball. Charlie, seriously, I think the heat's affecting everybody a little. Andre Walton even looks a little slow out there right now. Pat Murphy, Jeff Smithy, is he going to air another one? No. Air ball from 3 last time. This time he rattles it home, and the Downs all of a sudden up by 4, 23-19. Peaks and valleys out here.
You mentioned the heat a moment ago, Randy, and sometimes the heat can take a lot of heat plus adrenaline, can take a lot of energy out of it.
There's Shannon Arthur again on the inside. Boy, he is supplying all the offense for the Greyhounds. 23-21. He's got, what, about 10 points already?
9. Off the bench.
That's about 10. I'm sorry, you're the one who has the computer, so I'm guessing over here.
It's unofficial, so it could even be wrong.
Charlie O'Matic, it's sort of like Stratomatic. Andre Walton outside, 25 on the shot clock, so that's no problem. Walton almost dribbles it away, gets to Smithy, another 3. Boy, he missed it totally from that spot a minute ago. Now he's hit 2 in a row, and the Dons up by 5. That's 5 3-pointers for them already, and it's a 5-point lead. That's the difference in the ballgame. 26-21, 8:40 to go in the first half. Mosier, great move on Reinke. I think those two have seen each other on the court before. Because Reinke played his high school ball at Concordia, and Mosier at Woodland. Reinke's going to sit down as John Honstrader makes his first appearance. Pat Murphy sits down, and Sean Gibson comes back.
Jeff Smithy goes out, and the heat has definitely had an effect on Smithy. He's really sucking there.
Huffing and puffing. When they start pulling on the shorts, you know they're in trouble. Number 23, Scott Simmons in for IPFW. We'll set the lineups for you. For the Dons, you have number 23 is Scott Simmons. Number 24, Shane Gibson. His brother is 41, Sean Gibson. Andre Walton, number 10 in the backcourt. And John Honstrader, number 15. We'll get to Indy in just a minute. Shane almost loses it out of bounds. Misses the shot. Honstrader comes up, rebounding the bucket right off the bench. Downs by 7, 28-21.
And that's what a John Honstrader will give to you off the bench.
Number 44, Tim Haynes in the lineup for the Greyhounds. His first appearance of the night. Staley back in, number 34. That's Haynes with the ball. Number 30, Stacy Fields. Also for the first time this season. We also have number 42, Mosier. And 23 is Shannon Arthur. Mosier outside to Fields, who slashes inside. Heard the whistle, threw up the shot. Good move there by Stacy Fields.
And he really didn't have much, but got a little bump and put it on the glass.
Yeah, he looked like he was about to pass it. Simmons picks up the foul, his first, team's 8th. I think they're going to call that a shooting foul. Let's see. Yes, two-shot foul. See it right on your screen. 7:47 to go in the first half. Dons lead it by 7, 28-21. Fields hits the first. Andre Walton congratulates him. Why? I do not know. Maybe just trying a little sight jab.
Psychological warfare at its best.
Didn't work. Fields hits them both easily, and it's 20-23, Dons by 5. Walton against some token pressure by Tim Haynes. No problem with it. This is Shane Gibson inside to Sean. Sean gets hammered, no call. Man, Shannon Arthur going up in the crowd. Maybe he's hungry for a little popcorn. Nobody's hurt. And the Dons will keep the ball.
Good hustle.
Very good hustle. Shane Gibson inbounds it to Andre Walton. Simmons outside. Sean Gibson trying to get inside position against Staley. This time he does. Up and under. Good move. Gets it to go. Maybe that'll break him loose. 30-23. Dons by 7. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half.
That was that patented move that Sean has had for his 4 years here at IPFW, and it's perfected it now.
The drop step. Look like you're going back. The guy comes out on you. You take that little step inside.
A la Kevin McHale.
Yes. Another one who did that great was Jack Sickman.
Yeah.
Jack Sickman. And he could turn it either way. If they stayed back, he would just do that fadeaway jumper. Sean outside for 3. That one's partially blocked by Jim Mosier. I think he got a piece of it. Fields outside. Don's in a straight man-to-man right now. Inside, stolen away by Sean Gibson, but Walton can't control it. It'll be out of bounds to Indianapolis. Coach Piazza expressing some New Year's greetings to the official, I think. We're questioning the call.
He's pleading for a foul.
Fields sits down. Number 5, Pharrell Lucas back in for the Greyhounds. Dons go to a trapping half-court zone now. Greyhounds recognize it, took their time setting up. Ball goes out of bounds, and John Heinstrider did not touch it. Way to force the bad pass. Good defense that time by the Dons.
The Dons may have gotten a break. I think John tipped that with a fingernail.
Since Andy Piazza called that timeout, the defensive intensity has definitely picked up for IPFW. And doesn't seem like they're scoring much, but they have 30 points. And there's over 5 minutes to go in the half. So that's not too bad. And now Sean Gibson will go to the line and shoot a one-on-one. Maybe he can add a couple of more. I think he got a finger in the eye there. Sean gets hurt a lot during the game. He takes some hard falls. He walks up sort of like Jim Brown used to when he played football.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't move, I can't run. And then when the ball's in play, he's zipping up and down the court.
And he's drawing a lot of company when he gets the ball in the paint.
Everybody knows who he is now. No hiding him. Boy, 0 for 3 from the line tonight, though. He is yelling at himself right now, Sean Gibson. He knows he's a much better free throw shooter than that.
And at this early stage of the season, 3 misses will do drastic things to an 80% percent.
Shannon Arthur finally misses. Quickly up court. Shane Gibson stolen away by number 44, Tim Haynes. Nice defensive play by the Greyhounds.
Must have been a good play. No complaining from Shane.
Nope, did not hear the sound up here either. You can usually hear that slap. The Greyhounds now calling a timeout. They're looking a little winded. Timeout on the court. Dons lead it 30-23. And Charlie's got an announcement he'd like to make for everybody at home. Charles?
Charles. We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
Mental illness. We fear it. We laugh at it. We scorn it. We think it's shameful. But these are misunderstandings. Misunderstandings that will fade away if we see mental illness for what it really is, a medical disease. A disease that can be treated if you just know where to turn. For an informative booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
5:20 to go in the first half. Dons lead it by 7, 30-23 against the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds. The Dons' first conference game of the year. The Dons 7-0, number 11 in the country. Looking to go 1-0 in the GLVC. And Charlie, defense has picked up, and that's helped the offense too, because the Dons were up by 6 early, fell behind. Now they're back up by 7.
Great positioning. Again, as we stated, they don't have the overall team quickness as in past years, but good positioning.
And they know how to play this defense now. As you've also stated, they've got a lot of experience. So they're very familiar with what's trying to be done out there. Staley with the jumper from 14, cuts it to 5, 30-25. 5 minutes to go in the first half. This is a time when the coaches like to see a little spurt, get into the locker room, maybe get up by 10 or 12 points, and really try to hammer the other team out of it. Shane Gibson with the floater. He's got 11. Dons up by 7, 32-25.
Shane playing very well. As you stated earlier, picking up the slack for brother Sean.
Who Honstrider gets away with a foul. Almost runs over one of the managers, Luch, on the bench. Working it around. The Greyhounds taking their time. They've worked 20 seconds off the shot clock already this possession. Remains, gets it inside to Mosier against Gibson, leaves it short, and that's Shane with the rebound. Sean out ahead of the pack, gets the pass from Walton and lays it in. That's 4 for Sean. Dons by 9, their biggest lead of the game. 34-25, 4 minutes to go in half number 1 from IPFW. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington. So glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6. Watching the Dons take on the University of Indianapolis. Number 45, Michael Brooks, the uncontested 10-footer. Trims the lead back to 7, 34-27.
The last couple of times down the court, the Greyhounds have exploited the most open spot in a trapping defense, right in the middle of the court.
We'll have to see if they do that anymore. Inside, Sean out to his brother Shane. Back into Sean. Triple teamed, almost loses it. Simmons with the free ball, hits the jumper. Just how it was drawn up on the board.
Does Gibson get an assist?
Not. Dons by 9 again, 36-27. There's that trapping defense. Greyhounds inside. Staley gets Gibson on his trampoline. Cuts it to 7.
That infamous drop step.
Yes. Says, I can do it too there, my friend. Andre Walton inside. Great pass to Sean Gibson, who gets tripped. And there he is. He's down on the floor. He looks like he's dead again. Well, he had an easy layup coming there, too. A lot of subs coming in for IPFW right now. Sean, I don't think you can leave the game. That's what the official said to him. He said, no, I'm just going to get a towel. Doug Reinke, Andy Liebert, and Jeff Smithy in the lineup for the Dons. Shane Gibson, John Honstrider, and Scott Simmons sitting down. It's almost like watching a North Carolina game.
After starting the game, Liebert hasn't seen very much action. Maybe he can finish strong in these last close to 3 minutes here.
Sean Gibson at the line, 0 for 3 for the 80%er tonight. Is he going to hit this one, Charlie?
Sure.
That's all you had to say. 1 out of 4 now.
He touches all of the rim.
Will it be 2 out of 5 for 40%? He's halfway back to his 80 if he makes this one. Bingo, that one was perfect. He had to just hone in on it. He had to get that radar going. There's the full court pressure again. Dons lead it by 9, 38-29, 2:50 to go in the first half. This is the point total the Dons would like, somewhere in the mid-40s for a half, because they averaged 90 a game, over 90. Boy, that was 3 seconds on Mosier. They didn't call it. Lucas, no good. Sean Gibson with the rebound. Up court quickly to Liebert. He's wide open again. Staley lays it in. Dons up 11, 40-29. Staley could not afford to foul him there, Charlie, because he's already got 2, and he knew he can't pick up 3 in the first half. Smart move by Liebert. Slowly but surely, the Dons pulling away. As we just said, too, a couple of minutes ago, this is where they want to get a few and maybe get a double-digit lead by halftime.
Coming in, it should be a 90-70 game.
And that would be right on the team's averages. Inside, Staley, air ball over Gibson. Reinke with the, I guess it's a rebound. It's not a pass to another team. Sean Gibson inside against Staley, gets the bucket, and Staley can't believe it. They've just given him his third foul. And Gibson still off the floor. Is he hurt? Can never tell with Sean. He's got 8 points all of a sudden, too, doesn't he? After not having any in the first 8 minutes of the game. In the last 10, he has scored 8, and he's got a chance for 9, plus he's missing free throws. He hurt his left hand or wrist just a tad. And now he wants to towel off.
That's a good call by the referee. Staley, underneath the basket, you are not going to get a charge standing underneath the basket. At best, you're going to get a no call.
You know, that's one that you and I know we've beaten that one to death, where I say, hey, if a guy standing under the basket after you let go of the ball and the ball's going through the hoop, they used to call that foul. The NCAA has changed that. There was an article about it in the Sporting News in the last couple of weeks. And the head of the NCAA officials says that he doesn't want them calling that anymore. That's another one he wants called like the NBA, where that is no foul, because that is not rewarding a good defensive play. That's hurting a good offensive play. And that's one of the nice rule changes that the NCAA has made.
Good point.
Sean hits the free throw. All of a sudden, it's a 14-point lead, 43-29, backcourt silly foul by the Dons. I think they got Andre Walt. They did. And that's the referee who he tapped on the hindsight before. Maybe that's payback.
Could be. He will not get the benefit of the doubt.
Walton picks up his third. He's got to sit down. And Russ Marcinek checks back in. 1-1 for Michael Brooks. Indianapolis. 1:49 to go in the first half. Dons by 14, make it 13. Definitely the kind of ball game IPFW wants, so they're getting to apply the defensive pressure. And now they're getting to run a little, too. Makes it 43-31, 1:45 to go in the first half. Dons by 12. Want to keep it over double digits going into the locker room. Sean Gibson muscles inside against Jim Mosier, and all of a sudden Sean's got 11. He's halfway to a season average after not scoring in the first 8 or 9 minutes of the ball game. Greyhounds breaking the press.
Sean looks like he's picked up some bulk.
Yeah. In and out by Mills. He gets his own rebound, puts it up again, and hits it. 45-33. Dons still lead it by 12. Just over a minute to go in the first half. Now, Sean, since he, that's another thing he told me. When he graduated high school, said he only weighed about 180 pounds. Andy Liebert misses the three. Reinke, good move there, not going over the back and picking up the cheap foul, giving up a couple of free throws. Let's see if Indianapolis plays for one. About 10 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Real good play that last time by Reinke. There's no way he could have got over the bulk of number 55, Lammer.
And the first couple of years, he would have done it. And Reinke pulls down the rebound as Mosier took a quick shot. And now the Dons will play for the final shot of the half. 30 seconds to go. Dons by 12. 45-33. Marcinek up top to Smithy. Nice when you have two great ball handlers in there like Smithy and Marcinek. Makes it a lot easier. 15 to go. We're under 10 seconds now. Time to look for the shot. There's Gibson open on the inside. And he walked. Good call. Good call. He was trying to step by and there was nowhere to go. So he was going to step out of bounds or walk.
And Sean got caught deep underneath the basket. Probably an ill-advised pass, but with the seconds going down, there's not a lot.
He needed to get the pass a little sooner. Here comes a desperation shot by Lucas for three. He almost made it, but he doesn't. And we are at the close of the first 20 minutes of the ball game. Things looking good for the Dons right now, especially that last 5 or 6 minutes. They lead it by 12, 45-33. We'll be back with the second half in just a few.
Die Welt verändert sich sehr schnell.
Изменения здесь достигнут весь мир.
世界が変わるんなら我々もそれに合わせていろんな方法を考えなくてはいけません。
De plus en plus, nous deviendrons tous partie d'une communauté internationale.
Todo el mundo tendrá una oportunidad para formar parte de este cambio.
If there is a common language in the world today, that language would be change. Sometimes evident, sometimes hidden, it is nonetheless constant. And when viewed through the eyes of the world, this change can be wide, sweeping, immediate, and profound. Yet when viewed through a different set of eyes, through the eyes of a child, this change can be personal and at times bewildering. Consider a child from another land whose family has come to Indiana, brought by an international company or organization to America's heartland. For this child, a changing world is felt at a personal level, a level of new language, atmosphere, customs, and new friends. There are more and more children like this one throughout the communities of Indiana. And part of the promise of the years ahead is that there will be many more. The coming international era, it has been called an era in which local economies, institutions, and industries around the world merge and interrelate to an extent far greater than ever before. It will be an era when Indiana's place in the world may depend upon the ability to remain open to the world around us and adjust our ways of thinking and acting. Recently, a group of citizens from around the state, representing many walks of life, came together to form the International Issues Task Force. A group formed with the purpose of determining and enhancing Indiana's ability to thrive in an increasingly international environment and prepare recommendations for the future. In part, the task force considered issues related to the Indiana business community, but their scope extended much further. Because at the heart of all changes are people. And closest to people are basic human issues. Issues that directly affect our ability to work and participate in an increasingly international atmosphere. With this in mind, the task force identified 4 primary areas of investigation. An international school, international service organizations and communications, international transportation, and international education. Each topic was studied by a separate committee, with ongoing staff support and administration provided by the Indiana Humanities Council. The intent of each committee was to determine how to best prepare the people of Indiana to become more valuable and productive citizens of the world community. The International School Committee investigated the feasibility of establishing an international school in Indiana. A school which would serve the needs of Indiana children by creating the opportunity to learn in a unique, world-class educational environment. A school which would also serve the needs of the children of foreign business people, students, educators, researchers, and other visitors to Indiana. As the business of many Indiana companies becomes increasingly global, the need for an international school becomes ever greater, because at the center of the needs of any family is the education of the children. Another task force committee investigated the statewide delivery of international services and information. Indiana is home to many different international service organizations. Yet a study commissioned by the Lilly Endowment revealed a need for these organizations to work more closely together. The task force committee investigated the needs of international employees and their families, foreign students, researchers, and the professional spouses of international executives to determine if services were readily available to international families. For example, foreign families often need special assistance in adapting to their new environment, obtaining driving licenses, learning where and how to meet American friends as well as other foreigners, and generally learning about a new culture. The committee also investigated ways to raise the consciousness of the people of Indiana by providing opportunities for exposure to international cultures through these service organizations. The committee then explored ways to best coordinate, fund, and deliver these needed services to international families as well as Indiana citizens. Central to Indiana's ability to be a vital part of a changing world is transportation. And a task force committee was formed to investigate the possibilities for increasing direct air transportation from Indianapolis International Airport to overseas cities and markets. Many Indiana companies, as well as international business people and visitors living in Indiana, currently need direct air service overseas. The committee not only studied this issue, it developed a strategy for pursuing greater levels of service. International transportation, an important way to more directly link Indiana with the world. The mission of the first three committees was investigating ways to make Indiana even more hospitable to foreign visitors, executives, employees, and families. The fourth committee investigated ways of preparing the youth of Indiana for the international era by studying the present educational system. The committee evaluated the teaching of world geography and culture, world history, foreign literature, and foreign language in an effort to assure that Indiana students are provided with the knowledge and the skills to succeed in the international era. In many ways, the intent of the task force has been to provide a cornerstone from which the state can begin to build and prepare for the future. A future that is rapidly approaching for businesses, for organizations, for families, and for all of us. It is up to us to shape our place in the international era by learning the language of the world, the language of change. The International Issues Task Force has provided an important first step for the people of Indiana, a step toward becoming citizens of the world and making countrymen of all humankind.
Scoring in the first half for Indianapolis, Staley 4, Lucas 7, Mills 7.
I believe that we can restore.
4. And
Matthew McGee, look out.
for IKW. Ranky 2, Walton 5, Lever 3, Smithy 6, Simmons 2, Honstrader 2, Murphy 3, and Sean and Shane Gibson both have 11.
Prosperity.
For over 40 years, the primary responsibility for shaping America's economic policies rested with the Office of the President. To learn how these decisions are made, how they affect you, enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
lot of my friends have already retired. But I wasn't ready for that. So I'm still teaching. This time in Belize, Central America. I decided to join the Peace Corps. I love my kids. And the way I figure it, I have the rest of my life to play cards.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
My hero? Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero? Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
What comes to your mind when you think about mathematics? Clowns, street sweepers, the Red Sox, robots, the weather, earthquakes, Disney World, pineapples, conventions, parking tickets, fishing? If these practical applications of contemporary mathematics didn't make your list, you should watch public television's math series For All Practical Purposes.
We're back. IPFW's Don Dome. At halftime, IPFW leads it over Indianapolis, 45-33. And Charlie, what stats jump out off the page to you?
Well, the brother Gibsons are leading the way with 11 points apiece. And then after that, Jeff Smithy has 6 on 2 3-pointers, 5 for Andre Walton, and 3 for Andy Liebert.
You know, I think the key in the first half was the Dons started out a little slowly, picked it up, went slow for a while, fell behind, but then Andy Piazza called a timeout, and the defensive pressure really picked up, and that opened up their offense. They started getting some fast breaks and running, and the Greyhounds don't want to run. If you can start running against them, you're going to get a lot of cheap buckets and pick up some free points, basically.
And that's what a good coach will do, recognize something that we people sitting up here can't recognize and find out what's going wrong.
Speak for yourself.
Call that timeout and make some adjustments, and then after that, the Dons got going on the defensive end, and then that caused some good things to happen on the offensive end.
And going in, we said the Dons average about 92, 93 points a game, and they're right on track for that at 45 in the first half. And the Greyhounds average about 69 a game, and at 33, they're pretty close to that as well. So right now, the game pretty much offensively at least going the way we figured it. And something that you said very early is this was going to be a game of tempo, with the Dons wanting to run and the Greyhounds wanting to slow it down, though that seems the exact opposite of what it should be, because Greyhounds would run and Dons were big, slow beasts. But the Dons are definitely creating the tempo and forcing the tempo now. And can the Greyhounds catch up? I don't know.
With their style of play, again, that IU system, once a team like that gets as far behind as they are right now, it's difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. And then you have the championship teams, and hopefully IPFW will fit into that category that can adjust to, even if the tempo does slow down, they can adjust and fit into that style of play also.
And boy, early on, this was one sloppy ball game because both teams have not played for a while. The Greyhounds' last game was December 5th, 25 days ago, and the Dons, I think, was what, the 19th was their last ball game.
Quincy.
Yeah, and that was a game where the Dons were down by 20-something points and came back to win it. You know, Quincy just beat Southern Indiana of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. I believe it was last night.
Usually always tough Southern Indiana.
That's right, when they used to have Elo Mutombo, brother of Dikembe Mutombo, star of the Denver Nuggets these days. IPFW, got to come out. We talk about this all the time. The coaches will tell you key points of the game, the last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half. IPFW dominated that, stretched it out from 4 or 5 point lead to 12. And the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the second half, where when you're ahead, you don't want to give the other team a chance to catch up, and vice versa. If you're behind, well, you better make your move right then, or you're going to be playing catch-up the whole ball game.
Exactly. And at the beginning of the outset of the game, no one had an advantage. The first 3 or 4 minutes were so sloppy, you can't give an advantage to anyone.
Yeah, they played about 9 minutes of the ball game tonight, and it was a tie game. Again, this is the first conference game of the year, so it means a little extra. Teams maybe coming out, having not played for a while, a little nervous because of that, and also a little nervous because it's a conference game. There's also a huge crowd here tonight Indianapolis being as close as it is and some local players on the team. A lot of people here for Indianapolis as well as IPFW. And lastly, but not least, it is hot in here because it's such a warm day in Fort Wayne. It's in the 50s today. It's still probably around 50 right now at 9 o'clock tonight. But man, it's got to be 80, 85 degrees in this here gymnasium. And that, I think, took an effect on the Greyhounds more than the Downs because the Downs played more guys.
It's a good thing we're not playing over at the Coliseum as the Fury are tonight. Maybe that floor is sweating a little bit.
Yeah, with the ice underneath because the Comets played last night. Greyhounds outside. Lucas, their one slashing player, slashes inside for a quick two. And it's Indianapolis with the first basket of the second half, cutting the lead to 10, 45-30. For IPFW, it's the same five who started the game. Doug Reinke with the ball, along with Sean Gibson and Shane Gibson up front. Andy Liebert and Andre Walton in the backcourt. Oh, bad pass by Reinke. He knew it. Gibson was double teamed and he threw it back into him. Reinke needed to either take a dribble and have the defender come to him and then pass the ball, or just rotated it back along the top.
That was the old Alexander Graham Bell telegraph pass.
Shane Gibson just about falling out of bounds, somehow manages to stay in. Sean getting pushed all over the place by 42 Mike DeHaven. Liebert for three, perfect. Starting the second half for Indianapolis, a very different team than started the game. Number 5, Perel Lucas, who started. Number 23, Shannon Arthur, who came off the bench and had, what, I believe 9 points.
Played
Number
very
45
well.
is Michael Brooks, who did not start and did not play that much. Number 20, Chad Mills started. And the other player is number 42, Mike DeHaven. Oh, bad shot there. Oh, luckily, he got that one off. Brooks did to DeHaven. So Indy going with a very small lineup now. They getting rid of the big guys. Staley, Mosier, and Lambert, their 3 starting front court guys, all sitting at the beginning of the second half. There's our first foul of the second half. Andy Liebert picks up his first, team's first. Both teams fouled a lot in the first half.
And those 3 probably are sitting, Randy, because between the 3 of them, they had 4 points.
But you can't always look at things that way. Good ball player.
Rebounds.
If he doesn't get them in the first half, chances are he'll get them in the second. Lucas slashing inside with the left hand, no good. Sean Gibson rebound quickly to Andre Walton. No advantage, 2 on 4. He pulls it out. Sean's got the open 3, passes it up to Shane. Inside, boy, terrible defense there by Michael Brooks. He just backed off of him, Charlie. You're supposed to cut the guy off, not let him go in for an uncontested layup. 50-35, Downs by 15. We've got 18 minutes to go.
Little things like that will help contribute to a 3
and there's a 10-second count. Lucas just stood there. There was nobody in front of him, and he's just like, oh, wait a second. I've got to get the ball across that little stripe thing. That sits to about 47 feet from the baseline.
An unforced error.
That's right. The heat taking its toll mentally. Inside, Doug Reinke. Great pass from Sean Gibson. Downs by 17, 52-35. And those first 3 minutes right now, seriously in favor of the Downs. Lucas doing all he can. Great pass inside to number 42, Mike DeHaven. That was great penetration by Perel Lucas. He's really the only quick guy out there, and IPFW's got a lot of quickness, comparatively speaking, to the Greyhound. Reinke inside, good move.
And what I think, Randy,
no help on the defense.
This is the Greyhounds' quicker lineup with those 3 big guys on the bench.
Ooh, that's a scary thought now, isn't it? Almost stolen by Liebert. Lucas gets it, bounces it over to Brooks. Good. Downs still lead it by 15, 54-39, 3 minutes into the second half. Oh, bad pass there. Michael Brooks almost gets the steal. Liebert knew that one was another telegraph pass, and here comes Staley, replacing number 45, Michael Brooks. Getting a little more size in there. I think you alluded to the fact that Staley, the leading rebounder on the team. Great pass, Walton. To Sean Gibson, he's got 13. He just used his man there. He made the quick flash to the top and just zipped down the lane. The backdoor cut. Oldest play in basketball, that and the pick and roll, and boy, they still work to perfection when they run properly. Staley inside with the bucket. But I don't think Andy Piazza would mind trading baskets for the next 16 and a half minutes, do you?
I don't think he would mind a bit.
Hahn still up by 15, 56-41. Andre Walton has it knocked away, and Reinke can't pick it up. Number 42, Mike DeHaven, making some room with his elbows there. Wants it on the inside. Mills can't get it to him. Sean Gibson just misses it. And it's thrown away through the hands of Staley. Mills with the Shannon Arthur, with the quick pass.
And a good quick pass.
Yeah, it was. Staley wasn't ready. Don's going to a smaller, quicker lineup now as Jeff Smithy comes in for Andy Lieber. John Honstreiter, the official cheerleader on the bench this year. I don't think he has sat down all night.
And there are available seats.
Yeah, he's been standing all night. He hasn't played that much, but he's rooting on the teammates. Shane Gibson hit 3 3-pointers in the first half. Won't get one there. He gets bumped. Before the shot, they're going to get Shannon Arthur with the foul. He got his money's worth on that one, too. So Shane almost ended up in the euchre seats. Go to the front row. Shane will inbound the ball.
And the referee asks for a new 45.
If there's a foul, that would be the correct foul. All the way up top to Andre Walton. They did one of those in the first half, and it wasn't thrown far enough, and the ball was stolen. Inside to Reinke with the left-hand or right-handed hook. No good. Now they're going to get Sean Gibson on the foul. He was pushing on number 34, Doug Staley.
That time, Doug Reinke made
there was a shot of Honstreiter, the man who won't sit.
A very aggressive post-up move that time by Doug Reinke, but then he kind of softly lofted it up towards the basket.
Yeah, not exactly the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook. Boy, that was almost a 5-second count getting it in. You were mentioning that in the first half, Charlie, that Indianapolis having all kind of trouble trying to just get the ball in bounds. Arthur with the spin move. Good. Lead down to 13, 56-43.
Arthur continues to be a bright spot.
Oh, bad pass. Sean Gibson hammered, no foul. Lucas has a man open, takes it himself, misses it. And over the back, Jeff Smithy's going to pick up the foul. That's not a bad foul, though, because there were 3 guys underneath along with Smithy. And that ball was going back in.
And Smithy can tell all his buddies he went over the back with somebody.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's his first team second. Shane Gibson sits down, so does Doug Reinke, and now it is Scott Simmons and Pat Murphy coming in. Don's going basically with the 3-guard offense as well. Just, I think, more for matchup reasons right now. Again, having trouble getting the ball in. Looking around the outside now. Staley takes the 16-footer, not even close. Sean with another rebound. It's to Walton. Boy, he's got Smithy wide open. Might have gotten away with a walk there. I think Walton picked it up and then dribbled it again. And he had Smithy wide open, spotting up for the 3. As is Shannon Arthur, and he hits it, and the lead's down to 10, Charlie.
This is a big possession. Very big possession right here for the Mastodons. Again, go inside to your big guys. You have Gibson and Pat Murphy in the game right now.
The Greyhounds getting a little confidence right now. They're even playing a little zone now. Andy Piazza said look for straight man-to-man all night. They're showing inside with the left hand. That was an all-American move right there.
Are you campaigning?
No, it was an all-American move. Pat Murphy comes up with the steal. Good pressure by Murph. Smithy pushing it. Walton for 3. All of a sudden, it's 15 points again. Don's 46. Excuse me, Don's 61. Greyhounds 46. Charlie, you said that was a big possession. Get it inside to Gibson. They did. He scored. And then they come back with the steal and the 3. Arthur outside fakes the 3, goes inside, gets harassed by Murphy, and Gibson gets another rebound. Murphy ahead of the field, gets the pass, but no advantage. Oh, good move inside by Pat, and he gets fouled. Number 20, Chad Mills. Murph showing a plethora of moves on the baseline.
The hesitation crossover.
The Tim Hardaway look-alike contest. Pat Murphy first right now. We've got a timeout on the court. 13:37 to go in half number 2. Downs lead at 61-46. Got down to 10, Charlie. They needed it from the big guy, and they got it.
Yeah, the Dons doing what a good team should do. Go to your big guy and then put some pressure on the on the ball, and then you look at the score. It was 10. Now you're right back up to 15.
Did you notice, too, that when it got down to 10 after Shannon Arthur hit that three-pointer, Andy Piazza stood right up. We have a happy birthday to Shane. It must be Shane Gibson's birthday. 22 or 23. Probably 23.
23.
23 would be my guess. Because I know Sean's 21. So they couldn't be... Yeah, so they'll make him 23. Happy birthday, Shane. But Andy Piazza stood right up when it got down to 10 and made sure he called out a play. That's good coaching, too.
Exactly.
Cheerleaders clearing off the floor, dispersing, as we like to say.
A few moments ago, Andre Walton hit a big three-point basket and looked very smooth, not noted for his outside shooting.
Definitely
looked very
not.
fluid on that three-point jump shot.
Looking good right now. Wave hi to one of our cameramen over at News Channel 15, Paul Kucharski, in the house, getting us some highlights. We call him Kuch at work. It's easy. Kucharski. Kuch. Sounds like he should have been on Hill Street Blues. Kucharski, you've got the north end tonight. Pat Murphy at the line now. He's got a couple of free throws coming after doing the crossover dribble, as Charlie pointed out on the baseline. Murphy hit his one free throw this evening. And a three-point play in the first half. Dwanger grad. You want to take that one, Charlie?
No. He has another one.
He did get net, but on the wrong side, and he overcompensates on the second one. Murph goes 0 for 2. Downs by 15, 61-46. 13 and a half to go in the second half. Lucas outside, slashes in, no good. And Sean Gibson getting a bundle of rebounds right now. He must be getting close to double digits. Smithy for 3. Ooh, thought he had that one when he let it go. Murphy muscles, tips the rebound to Simmons, no good. Shannon Arthur doing everything for the Greyhounds, coming away with the ball. And some Woodland fans are a little disappointed that Jim Mosier didn't do much tonight. He hasn't played at all in the second half. Bad start.
Looked a little out of sync tonight.
A lot of times you come home and try to do a little extra. You know your family and friends are watching. It can be difficult, except if you're Michael Jordan. So he even admits when the Bulls played in Charlotte last night, and he said it's very difficult for him to play there. And part of it is so many people call and ask for tickets.
Well, I wouldn't mind having difficult nights like he has.
Yeah, an off night, 28 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. Yeah, slow night for Michael. What was wrong with him? Speaking of Jim Mosier, he has just checked into the lineup, number 40 for Indianapolis. Along with number 10, Noy Che, who's out of Northfield. Played with the Ross twins in high school.
Great point guard that year.
I think his brother played as well.
Yeah.
Inside Murphy, outside Andre Walton, fakes the 3. Murphy inside, muscling in. No, he gives it up to Sean for 3, in and out. Here come the Greyhounds.
Andre Walton this year, Randy, looks so much more comfortable and in control this year as opposed to last year. Not that he was out of control last year.
Great defense by Murphy with the overplay, but then Walton dribbled it off his foot. Fortunately, it dropped to Sean Gibson, and then Murphy all alone for the layup. Dons have their biggest lead of the game now, 63-46, and John Honstrider still refuses to sit down. I think he's just trying to stay loose. He might have a little cramp or something. Ready to go in the ball game. Arthur hits another. He's got 13, I believe. And they didn't even start the ball game. Downs by 15, 63-48, 11:20 to go. Andre Walt, ill-advised pass. Here comes Roy Che. 1 on 3. He's not going to take it. Gets it over to Arthur. Inside. Almost blocked by Gibson. Definitely fouled it. Murphy gets the board.
Floored by Gibson.
Walton from 18. No good. Sean underneath, rebound and the block. Well, after a slow start, he has made up for it. And Hanstrider being rewarded for all of his standing around. He's going to go in the ballgame.
It's the cheering that got him in the game.
Now, a lot of guys just get too nervous and they don't like to sit for a long time. And especially after they come out after halftime, you warm up a little, you sit down, you get stiff again. So he was standing around. Lucas steals it from Walton. Walton grabbed him, no call. Lucas inside, almost blocked by Murphy. Almost had his arm taken off by Murph as well. Lucas will go to the line and shoot a couple.
I think I jinxed Andre Walton. And since I gave him that compliment, he made a few turnovers.
That's it. No more compliments for Andre Walton the rest of the season. Walton takes a seat. He looks like he can use a breather. Pat Murphy looking for a little oxygen as well. And maybe some H2O to go with that oxygen. Simmons sits down too. Hanstrider in. Shane Gibson back in. And number 21, Russ Marcinek in as well. Marcinek had a rough first half, Charlie.
Yeah, a little shaky out there, but he'll settle in. He gets more used to the offense until the players around him. This is his first year here. He's going to be a good player.
Lucas hits his first. Burrell Lucas trying to make it 2 for 2. He does, and he trims the lead to 15, 65-50, 10:30 to go in the second half.
I'm partial to Marcinek. He's a region man.
A region man.
Hammond, no. The region.
Gibson backing in, fadeaway 10-footer. He got 20 yet? Awfully close.
19.
That's awfully close. Hey, earlier I said 9 was awfully close to 10, and Sean with the block, and he saves the ball, but to Staley.
He's playing like an All-American.
That's right. Shane almost blocks Mosier, and guess who gets the rebound? Gee whiz, Sean. Cheered on by roommate Lloyd Ball. Shane inside for 2 off the glass. It's the Gibson and Gibson show. Sean and Shane. Getting close to 40 points between the two of them. Johns by 19. Biggest lead of the game, 69-50. It's one nice thing you see out here, too, now, Charlie, that you didn't see a few years ago. The volleyball players come out and cheer for the basketball team. The women hang around for the men's game and vice versa. And you like seeing all the sports supporting each other. Hanstrider from a great pass by Jeff Smithy, and it's Downs by 21, 71-50, and I think you need a TO, Coach.
Should we do the Dick Vitale?
Ooh, they called a charge. I thought they were going to call it a travel on Michael Brooks. Ain't nothing going the Greyhounds' way right now.
In the last 4 or 5 minutes, Sean Gibson has turned it on and turned this basketball game around. It was leaning towards the Dons in the first place, but he's really made it the O-meter go way.
He's tilted it, yes. He has jumped on the seesaw. No, this has been a much cleaner half, too, which also, I think, favors the Dons because it lets them run a little. There are only 7 fouls total between the two teams, 4 on the Dons and 3 on the Greyhounds, and we only have 9 minutes and 11 seconds to go. And about 8 or 9 minutes into the first half, both teams were in the bonus. Sean Gibson, he is truly doing it all now. He just wiped the perspiration off the court. Charlie, he has literally done it all. Maybe he can bring us some popcorn during one of the breaks.
I hope so.
Even better, a hot dog. Didn't get my full dinner tonight. Here come the Dons.
You just saw the injured Land Bullard on the screen.
Yep, got that bad knee. He's out at least 2 weeks, maybe more. Shane Gibson almost threw it away, picks it up. What do you think's going to happen on a night like this? Dons by 23. 73-50. Andy Piazza told me on the sly that they really felt they could blow out Indianapolis tonight. They really were looking for a big win and to show something to the rest of the conference. Well, Shannon Arthur, you cannot fault him for this ball game. He's got, what, 16 now? 73-53. 16 or 18. He's had a tremendous game off the bench.
17.
I keep missing by one tonight. I said 16 or 18, he's got 7. Shane for 3. Doesn't get it to go. Hanstrider. Oh, one official said it was out of bounds. The other one calls a foul on Hanstrider. Randy Liebert getting ready to check back in. His first, team's fifth.
The great thing about this Don team, as has been the last few years, you can't really key on one player. If you say you can key on a Gibson, but you really can't. Sean Gibson gets a lot of rebound baskets, fills the lanes, so he's not the setup go-to type of player. Although he has great moves out of the post, you really can't key on one player on this Don team, which makes them that much more tough.
The other thing I like too, Charlie, is the versatility on this team. They can go big, they can go small, or they can go a front line with Murphy, Sean Gibson, and Doug Lanke. They have three horses up there. Then again, Gibson is still quick enough. You can put him and Shane up front and three guards, and you can match up to the smaller, quicker teams. And they have a lot of guys who can play 2 or 3 positions. Sean Gibson, for instance, can play center, he can play big forward, he can play small forward. They have a lot of guys who can play point, shooting guard, and small forward. And that really, really makes it flexible if somebody gets sick, injured, foul trouble. And it creates a lot of matchup problems for the other team as well. You can make them match up to you.
Every player out here is more.
Sean Gibson, I thought he was going to dunk that one. Thought he was going to slam it, but he doesn't. He's over 20 now. Is that 21?
He's up and over.
One more bucket, and he's a little over the average of 22.6 on the season. Don's up by 20, 75-55, just over 7 to go. Almost thrown away. Arthur misses badly. DeHaven blocked by Hotstrider. You gotta be kidding. There's another one of those. The referee with 4 guys blocking his view makes the call. The ref standing about 3 feet away with the perfect view from the side doesn't blow the whistle.
I think he was bumped underneath by one of the Gibsons, but by no way, shape, or fashion did John Honstra make a foul.
That was, as we like to say, even in the pickup games, all ball. And when you're guarding somebody and he calls a foul on you, one of those, you just look at him and you're like, you know I didn't foul you, and I know I didn't foul you, and you're just calling a foul because you're embarrassed I blocked your shot.
John Gibson getting a well-deserved ovation.
And rest. He's played the whole second half, 13 minutes in this heat, and it is hot here tonight, folks. Over 80 degrees. Hey, Charlie, I forgot to ask you. We haven't been on for a while. How'd the alumni game go this year? I remember last year you hit that 3-pointer at the buzzer to win it. What was the case this year?
Well, this year I would have needed an 18-pointer.
Yeah, and I like your lame excuse. Oh, they didn't split the teams up fairly.
But they put all the young guys on one team.
Are you calling yourself old?
One man on the release.
Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Tongue-tied for the first time. Charles Washington, you heard it here. Mike DeHaven hit the first free throw, misses the second. Dons lead it by 19, 75-56, 7 minutes to go. Now, Rick Hanauer, a friend of mine who coached the winning team, said that he was the difference, and that Jerry Fox, who coached the loser, was just as much to blame. 42 DeHaven with the steal and score, cuts it to 17, 75-58. Any truth to that rumor? Was it the coaching?
Yeah, sure it was.
Yeah. How many did you score this year, though? I think you were over 30 last year.
Not quite up there. I think 19 or so. Boxing one defense. After I think I had 15 or 17 in the first half, and then
you're not telling me that one was guarding you.
It was a boxing one.
Okay. Shane Gibson missed the 3, the long rebound to the Dons. They still have plenty of time on the shot clock. 30 seconds. Shane with the ball inside, gets it out to Reinke. Over 2. Marcinick for 3. Good. Dons needed that one. Even though it was a 17-point lead, Indianapolis was thinking about making one more run.
Hey, and they're dancing in the streets at Hammond Knowles.
78-58 inside. Boy, Shannon Arthur gets another one. He really has played a tremendous game. And Sean Gibson getting ready to go back in. I think part of the reasoning is Andy Piazza would like to see Sean Gibson a first-team All-American. And nothing wrong with letting him get some stats. Got a pushing foul underneath. It's either on Arthur or Staley of Indianapolis.
I think it's on Arthur.
You are incorrect, sir. Doug Staley, his 4th.
It's first time for everything.
Yeah. That's the first time you've been wrong this minute. No. Just kidding, just kidding. Sean Gibson and Andre Walton coming back in. I think Andy Piazza wants to make sure this game does not get any closer than, say, 15 points. It's 18 right now, 78-60 with 5:33 to go. Dons will inbound the ball. Shane Gibson, the trigger man, to Andre Walton.
Marshnick played much better than that stint.
Yeah. Reinke. Oh, go on in, Doug. Oh, boy, he stood out there. He's like, should I take the shot from the free throw line? Should I drive in? And his feet just started moving.
Well, that's one of those practice shots. I know the big guys take those shots. You warm up with those shots in practice every day, so he can nail that shot.
From the Greyhounds, boy, Noche wide open. Nobody gets him the ball. DeHaven shoots it, no good.
Another carom for the All-American.
Sean Gibson. No, our producer Greg Schmidt saying Reinke hit a three-pointer in the first half. Sorry, Greg, but he did not even attempt a three-pointer in the first half. Yeah, it was Shane Gibson who hit. There's Andre Walton underneath. No good.
In the post.
Yes. Reinke doesn't take it, but Shane Gibson will take the three. No good. Shane cooling off in the last few minutes. These Greyhounds like to clear out with the elbows. Noche in the corner to Staley, who has been extremely quiet this evening. Arthur, the only guy doing anything for the Greyhounds, can't hit. And Tim Hayes, wide open, won't shoot it, and now Arthur gets fouled by Doug Reinke.
The All-American, maybe?
I don't know. It's either Reinke. 44. That got you again.
I thought it was Gibson. He was calling for the clear out, and he had a pretty good case.
Doesn't matter. If Reinke's in the area, they're going to call it on him. They just do. I think they look for him. Some guys have reputations.
Sean Gibson acting as the spokesperson for Doug Reinke, saying that he cleared out.
Arthur at the line for a couple of free throws. 17 fouls on the Dons now. They are over the limit. Only 4 on the Greyhounds. Arthur is a little strong.
And again, Andre Walton, congratulate him.
Maybe that'll be his new nickname, Psych. Second one from Arthur. Rattles home. 78-61, 4:30 to go. Downs a comfortable 17-point advantage. Walton against Lucas. Gets it out to Smithy. Nice pass to Walton. Was he open? Oh, beautiful play. I knew that one was ball. That was just a beautiful
cut.
Give and go.
Great cut.
Lucas, good dish to DeHaven. Walks, no call. Now they get Reinke for the foul. There's no question that DeHaven picked up the dribble and then took a hop. If we had a replay, we'd show. Unfortunately, we don't have a replay.
A lot of times the referee may anticipate the body contact and may not be watching the feet. But with the two other officials, maybe someone could have seen.
You would tend to think that way. Dons lead it by 19, 80-61. We've got 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the ball game. A lot of times we would say regulation, but I don't think this one's going to OT tonight, Charlie. How about you?
I don't think so.
So how do you think the Dons looking in their first GLVC game?
Looking very good. Again, can't key on one player. The Dons work very well together. They run the defense very well, positioning. And once they get into the offense, they look very well.
But we know coaches, no matter how well a team plays, the coaches always pick out something that they don't like. What do you think the coaches are going to be talking about to their players? What do they need to improve on?
I think that sometimes the Dons got a little bit too much into a rush. Some advantages. They tried to take some advantages that may not have been there, especially earlier in the game. The second half has been much more well played than the first half.
I think that Andy Piazza would like to see him run the half-court offense a little smoother, too. They threw the ball away a little, like you were saying, rushing. I think, too, they were forcing it a little in the half-court offense. On the transition game, they've looked very, very good tonight, and that's one of their big advantages. The Dons probably have 15, 16 points off of fast breaks.
Sure.
And the Greyhounds maybe have 2 or 4. They had one. DeHaven stole a ball, and they might have had one earlier in the first half where there was a foul.
And, you know, some of those situations earlier could have been the matter of the old Earl Weaver syndrome, trying to hit the 3-run homer.
Yeah.
Instead of getting singles, getting some guys on base, passing the ball in this case, and getting some good opportunities for your teammates.
I like the Earl Weaver reference, the old Gardner. That is your manager, great manager of the Baltimore Orioles. DeHaven hit his first free throw. Well, that's a discussion we'll have to have one of these slow games. All the brouhaha about the name the Wizards. And I'll sum it up in 2 words. Who cares? It's just a name. What's the difference?
Well, we'll see how they play.
Yeah. Andre Walton fouled up top. Downs by 18 right now, 80-62. That's only the 5th team foul on the Greyhounds, so the Downs will get it out of bounds. Second on Perel Lucas. Shane Gibson has to get it in, and that was a terrible inbounds pass. DeHaven, I guess he can't dunk. He's had 2 breakaways, and he hasn't dunked either time. Downs by 16. Got to be a little more careful right now. You don't want to develop any bad habits.
And 2 things happened on that last play. First of all, it was not the greatest pass, but the receiver did not come to the basketball.
Just like football, you got to come back to it. Don't let the guy cut it off. Sean Gibson, wheeling, dealing, hands it to Doug Reinke, who is grabbed by Perel Lucas. He'll pick up his 3rd personal. 6 now on the Greyhounds. 3:25 to go. Downs comfortably ahead. 16-point lead, 80-64.
I want one of these games where I have all good things to say about Doug Reinke. I do not want to get on his case because all these telecasts, it appears to me that I seem to get on him quite a bit. And in that case, he may not have been ready for a pass. And that's one of the first things to teach young ball players, hand and body readiness.
There's Reinke making a good move to get nice and open, get the ball to the big man, and he quickly gets it to one of the guards. Sean Gibson double teamed inside. They call a jump ball. How can that be a jump ball? He turned and nothing happened. He didn't shoot the ball, did he?
No.
Maybe that's one of the rule changes I missed. Downs keeping on the alternating possession. There's Reinke, drop step.
Good move.
Go. Looked for the hook, it wasn't there, took the drop step. Now you have another good thing to say. That's the way we like it.
Good defense by Sean Gibson.
Yep, played it with his feet. That's how you got to play defense. Noiche, no good for 3. Everybody and his brother touched that one. And it goes out of bounds to the Downs. She lead it by 18. Long inbounds pass. Reinke just hands it off to Simmons, who missed. Now Reinke gets the rebound, powers it up. And that's the point where maybe you want to go back outside when you're up by 18 with 2:50 to go, but as long as you draw the foul, that's okay. It's also a time of game where you can work on your game. Well, it is. Try out some new things.
And Reinke seems to be trying to do that, working on some new and improved moves down in the post.
Yeah, we didn't see much of Jim Mosier, the former Woodland star here in the second half for Indianapolis. He didn't start the ball game. He only played maybe 2-3 minutes here in the second half. I don't even know if he scored tonight.
One basket. We were in a discussion. He got a tip-in basket. And I'm sure that was much to the dismay of this near-partisan Jim Mosier crowd in Indianapolis side.
Reinke short on the first free throw.
Bailed out. Bend those knees and stay in there, Doug.
Didn't bend him enough. Downs still lead by 18, 82-64. 2:40 to go in the ball game. Lucas inside, no prayer. There's Simmons with the foul on DeHaven. One good thing, Downs with the big lead. I don't think we're going to see all the intentional, unintentional fouls at the end of the ball game.
Yeah, that was designed to speed up the game with the 10 foul rule, but I don't think it sped the game one moment.
The way they can speed it up, I've got some suggestions if anybody from the NCAA Rules Committee out there is listening. One, after you make a basket, you cannot call timeout because you don't have the ball. You made the basket, it's the other team's ball. You cannot call timeout after a made basket. I get that point clear? Call intentional fouls when you know they're intentional. Call an intentional foul, and you give the team the option of either shooting the free throws or putting the ball back in play.
Yeah, I think a lot of intentional fouls go I wouldn't say undetected, just simply uncalled.
Haven hit both free throws to trim the lead to 16, 82-66. Reinke sits down. Pat Murphy back in. Tell you, the Dons still have some of their starters out here late in the ball game. 16-point lead.
I think Coach Piazza is strategically awaiting the ovations for those players one by one, taking them out.
Okay. We shall see if that is correct. There we see Andy Piazza and his assistant Dick Demanian on the sideline. Somebody get open. There you go. Andre Walton manages. Notice how he has the sleeveless t-shirt underneath tonight. Instead of the full t-shirt. Number 32, Tom Patterson making his first appearance in the ballgame.
Coming off an injury.
Inside, nothing. They call travel. Ooh, I don't think Andy liked that call. We're even getting boos from way up top here in the downtown. Cascading down. Right way. Oh, Scott Simmons is stealing the bucket.
And that's what Coach like Piazza, that's what he's looking for, to see how these last few moments are going.
Three-pointer no good. Sean Gibson's going to be called for going over the back against Mike DeHaven. DeHaven living at the free throw line here in the last few minutes of the ball game. 2 minutes on the nose left in the ball game. 84-66, Dons by 18.
Just as I stated, one at a time. Andre Walton comes out, and then we'll have Sean Gibson coming out.
Walton a nice game tonight.
Right now, Randy, both coaches, the game has already been decided. Both coaches seeing how the players are going to play together. Are they going to set up plays, or are they going to play helter-skelter? And, of course, they want the teams to set plays up and keep playing hard on both sides.
DeHaven definitely hitting his free throws right now. But a lane violation. This is not a Globetrotters game. You cannot step in the lane before the man shoots the ball. So DeHaven will get another chance. We'll see if he takes advantage. Uh-oh, Charlie. You know what it's time for us to get ready to do?
Dun, 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 dun.
No, not get eaten up by a shark. Of course, it's the Dandy Don player of the game. Nice pass, and Tom Patterson winds up with the easy bucket. Dons by 18, 86-68.
Scott Simmons playing very well in these last moments.
Boy, you just don't want to foul guys now. Get the game over with. Shannon Arthur will go to the line and shoot a couple.
My guess would be Sean Gibson comes out right now.
Oh, baby.
And
now you get
it. Is that our decision?
Let's think about it.
He has my vote.
He's the obvious choice, but I'll tell you what. I also liked how his brother Shane played tonight.
He did play well.
Because Shane had some points early on when they needed him, when Sean wasn't scoring, and he also came out hot at the beginning of the second half. And on top of that, as it was just pointed out to us, it's
his birthday.
So I think just that alone pushes him over the top for my vote. So we're going to have to toss this to producer Greg Schmitz, who's going to have to make the final decision. The Dandy Don player of the game. Charlie, it's the birthday boy.
No, Cole, Dandy Don.
No, not tonight. Not tonight. You don't want to share on your birthday, especially with your brother. Believe me, I know.
No sibling rivalry there.
And I think that'll make Shane feel even better to know that he beat Sean out with a coveted Dandy Don player of the game.
Okay, Greg Schmitz, our producer, decides it.
He did.
Shane Gibson, our Dandy Don player.
I guess you could say Shane on you. Pat Murphy at the line, 1-1, misses. Thankfully, for the viewers listening at home to this diatribe, it's almost over. A minute and a half to go. Number 42, Casey Runyon, pulls down the rebound.
KC gets our Dandy Don name of the game. Casey Runyon.
And one of the big guys, Chad North, a 6'9" freshman out of Lures, getting ready to come in. might be somewhat of a project, but in another year or two, he could turn out to be a good ball player. And you can't teach somebody to be 6'9".
No.
Old advice I got from a coach. Ooh, there's a foul that Simmons got away with. 45. Brooks comes up with the basket. We're under a minute to go. Dons lead at 86-71.
A couple more baskets, Randy, and we'll be right on target at the outset of the game.
Yeah.
90-70.
Murphy drop step. Got it.
It's the same move they called traveling on a few moments ago. Much to the dismay of Coach
71. 30 seconds to go. Brooks fakes the three, pushes off, no call. Marcinek gets the ball to Simmons. Could this be the big 9-0 here? Bingo. Are we prognosticators or what? I'm going to start calling you Nostradamus. 10 seconds to go in the ball game. Lucas puts up the three. No good, out of bounds. Chad North will get 8 seconds in the ball game. He is on the books, baby. Pat Murphy sits down. Pat had a very nice game tonight.
Played a very good floor game, overall floor game for Pat Murphy tonight.
And will they try to get up a shot? 5 seconds to go. Marcinek, three. No, he's just going to dribble it out. And there's your ball game. Final score, Dons victorious in their first GLVC game of the season. 8-0 on the year now. Dons win it 90-71. Charlie, are you going to get a chance to go down there and talk to our Dandy Don player of the game?
I think so.
If you want, you head down there and I'll wrap it up.
Well, thank you, sir.
You go down there and say happy birthday to Shane for me.
Will do.
Shane Gibson is our player of the game. Well, we better get him before he goes to the locker room. We're gonna have to make Charlie run. And he does not have the sneakers on tonight, so that could be a scary thing. We're going to check the Charlie's stats here tonight. He says they are very unofficial. He warns me ahead of time. But before we do that, I'll tell you this. We'll be right back for more basketball right after these brief messages.
You made it. Hey, I couldn't have gotten through physics without you.
Yeah, well, you're on your own at college.
It's not fair.
That's all right. I'm going to get a job, you know. I'm start working. I'm saved. And I'll be in college in another year or two.
So, what did you have planned, Mike?
I think I'm going to go home and make a sandwich. Okay.
Support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Vince, come on, we're late. This headbanging is more fun than going through a windshield.
Good night from Iron Maiden. Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts. You don't want to end up like Eddie. Belt up. Don't be a dummy.
Bonjour. French in Action, opening a new era in language learning. A television course in 52 lessons centers around a wonderful romantic comedy filmed entirely on location in France. The story of Mireille, Robert, Marie-Laure, and the mysterious man in black will help you to learn, to understand, and to speak French. Watch French in Action.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
Talk about unusual. How often do you see transparent televisions?
Americans have more money to spend on leisure activities than ever before.
When possible, children should trick or treat during daylight hours and be accompanied by at least one adult.
A boat, archaeologists believe, is from the time Jesus and his disciples fished on the Galilee.
For best results, fertilize your lawn when it is actively growing.
Many people suffer from allergies. Few understand them.
The tragedy of child abuse takes many forms, from verbal assaults to hurtful blows. But it is preventable, and we all have a role to play. If you know of a parent having difficulty, reach out, sit down and talk. And if you're having difficulty, get help for yourself. Talk to a friend. Sign up for a parenting class. Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Contact the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are here with our first 1992-93 Dandy Down player of the game, Shane Gibson. And Shane, there was a little dispute tonight on who was going to be Dandy Down player of the game. And I think what got you over the hump was today's your birthday.
Yeah, it is my birthday, and I just wish I had a birthday every game, because tonight it sure helped out. That's what Coach was telling me. He goes, I think they might have got the wrong Gibson, but they won't tuck you on television anyway, so.
Well, you started out shooting very well, and Sean started out pretty slow. You started out, he finished things up. How are you feeling out there? You hit a couple of three-pointers early in the game.
Well, this is the first game that I've really been able to hit my three-pointers for a while, and actually it felt pretty good. I started missing them a little bit towards the end of the game. I think my legs were getting tired, but by that time my brother and everyone else had started picking it up some, so we were all right.
Starting out in the first half, things started out very slow, and then towards the from the middle to the outset of the second half, you guys started gaining some momentum, and then just took things over in the second half. What happened from that point where things weren't going so well?
I'm not really sure. It seems like every game we always start off slow. Quincy, we start off slow, we get down 20. Every game, there's only one game this year that we started off good, and then we, kind of had a lapse midway through the first half. So as long as we can pour it on towards the end, I don't guess it really matters.
Things seem to get a little physical out there today. Was this a very physical team from start to finish, or were they just some certain situations?
I think it was just certain situations. It's a first conference game. Our conference is usually, the play's pretty rough. So I think the refs were pretty much just feeling us out, feeling everybody out, considering this was their first conference game too.
You guys are picked second in the conference this year. What kind of a momentum do you hope this game will give you going into the game Saturday, and then from the outset and on throughout the year?
Well, we definitely hope we can carry this on to Saturday. We play Northern Kentucky, and then we got a big road trip next week where we play Southern Indiana and then Division II, number 2, Kentucky Wesleyan. So that's going to be really big. If we can just keep the momentum going, I think we're going to do real fine going into these games.
How about your role this year on this team, a junior and senior laden team? How about your role, Shane Gibson? How do you fit in, and where do you hope to fit in on this team this year?
I'm hoping to fill the open jumpers as like I did a little bit tonight, because a lot of teams are going to double team Sean because he's preseason All-American. He scores almost every time he gets inside. So I'm just looking to score when I get the ball, when I'm open, and whenever I'm not, just give it inside, let our post people do the work.
And I'm sure you provide a lot of needed leadership on this team along with your brother, Sean.
I get a little vocal at times, so I should be able to do a little bit of leadership role.
Well, good luck to you, Shane, the rest of the way. Always Shane, Sean. It sounds the same. You guys look a lot alike.
You can blame that on our parents.
All right.
They've caught a lot of flack for that.
Good luck on a great game tonight, and good luck throughout the season.
Thank you.
And now back to you, Randy.
All right, thank you, Charlie. And the birthday boy, Shane Gibson. We at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecasts of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the show and the excitement of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. But to provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the College Cable Access Center at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499. Please make your check out to the Indiana-Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. And, hey, make that a New Year's treat to us, okay? Again, the Downs win tonight, 90-71. Good news in the first game. And we'd like to thank We'd like to take this time to thank the Channel 6 volunteer crew and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their contributions to the live production of our basketball games this evening. Telecast of this IPFW sporting event is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized copying, exhibition, retransmission, or rebroadcast of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Don't forget to tune in to Channel 6 this Saturday evening, January 2nd, to see Northern Kentucky University take on both the women's and men's team from IPFW at 6 and 8 o'clock. For Charlie Washington and the entire Channel 6 crew, I'm Randy Schiffman. Have a great New Year's and a safe and happy one, everybody. Goodbye for now.